Stunned in the Europa League, Barcelona can make Haaland signing, Sevilla plan Kounde replacement, a transfer roundup, and today's Friday Feels all coming up in the next few minutes as I'm your host Matt Brolick, you are the OneFootballers, and this is the Daily News. So first off, and it was a shocking night for Tottenham Hotspur in the Europa League after winning the first leg of their game against Dinamo Zagreb 2-0. They went for the return leg and ended up losing 2-0 in 90 minutes before a hammer blow in extra time saw them lose 3-0 on the night and exit the competition early. Beforehand, there were loads of talk that Jose Mourinho was the one able to take them all the way to the final and potentially win the Europa League, and then it would still be considered a successful season for Spurs. But as of now, they've been knocked out the FA Cup, top four is looking rather difficult, and they've only got the League Cup final against an in-form Manchester City to try and salvage absolutely anything. After the game, Jose Mourinho and club captain Hugo Lloris both came out and in many different terms basically said that it wasn't good enough, it's absolutely unacceptable, and the players have to take a long, hard look at themselves, and that is something I'm sure they will be doing, but not before getting back on their feet for the next Premier League game on Sunday evening. Elsewhere though, we'll talk about some positive stuff because Manchester United did the business. After conceding a late goal last week, you would have thought going to AC Milan is going to be a tough ask, but not only did they go in there and win, they kept a clean sheet as well. Paul Pogba, the man, coming off the bench at half-time and scoring the goal which saw Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side through to the next round. A couple of other teams that made it through rather comfortably with the likes of Villarreal, Roma, Ajax as well, and Granada just made it through, although there was a little bit of a scare at at Molde. Elsewhere, and in the other two games, Rangers unfortunately went out to Slavia Prague, who managed to beat them 2-0 in a pretty good evening for the visitors. It also saw Steven Gerrard's men reduced to 10 men after one red card and a second from Kemar Roof, who absolutely nailed the goalkeeper in the face. And at the end of all of this, a disgusting altercation at the end of the game with loads of rumours of racism being thrown about, and honestly, just some terribly horrific, ugly scenes. Why is this still happening in football? Why is this still happening anywhere? Never mind just in football. Absolutely ridiculous and a really sour end to what was actually a rather entertaining football match. Of course, on top of all of this, it was a rather bittersweet night for Arsenal, who actually lost at home to Olympiacos and didn't really put in a good enough performance. On the flip side though, they won the first leg 3-1, so they are through to the next round of the Europa League, and of course that draw happens today along with the draw for the Champions League as well, so make sure you guys get in the comment section and get to discussing who you think is going to win once these ties are drawn. Of course, for those of you who don't know, but you should know by now, we're recording this daily news in the morning a long time, a few hours before the draws are made, so that's why they're not in this video. And if you want to know who myself and Angelina think are going to make it all the way to the Champions League final, don't forget to check out our video coming out later on. But moving on, and to Barcelona, who could somehow actually have the funds to sign Erling Haaland in the summer. Former interim president and president of the management committee, Carlos Tusquets, at the club has said that if they manage to restructure, there is no reason why financially they can't cope with the deal of signing someone like Erling Haaland or whoever they want. This is obviously in a stark contrast to what I've been saying the whole season about Barcelona, who apparently don't have many funds and going to have to go for free transfers. I mean, not that the following free transfers, the likes of David Alaba, Gini Wijnaldum, and a few others to boot, like Memphis Depay, wouldn't exactly be a bad signing, but if they've also got the option of spending a lot of money on a brand new star, Erling Haaland definitely fits that star potential. Of course, he was talking yesterday and there were lots more rumours about Lionel Messi staying and Ronald Koeman, but it looks like the club are well and truly behind both of them staying beyond the end of the season. When asked how he would actually do this, well, it looks like Barcelona's main plan of attack is to reduce that ridiculous wage bill. If they take some of that down, it'll free up a little bit of money, and Tusquets also said that they're very close to selling off a portion of the club too, to try and raise some funds. So if Barcelona can sign Haaland, well, that actually puts a lot of fear into the rest of Europe. I mean, at the moment, I know that we're saying Barcelona aren't necessarily having the best time of it, but in recent form, they're looking pretty good. They've definitely got some exciting youngsters. They're only going to grow, and their potential could see them grow to an astonishing level of football. And if Messi stays and if they manage to bring in a big striker, things are looking up for Barcelona fans. And sticking with our Liga, we're moving to Sevilla, who are apparently already planning on a Jules Kounde replacement. Now, the French centre-back has been brilliant for them, and yesterday we spoke about how they're dropping the fee that they're asking for because, well, they've seen in the market that there might not be so much money going around because of the pandemic. They've reduced Kounde's asking price from around 70 to 50 million euros, according to some reports in Spain, and now the replacement is going to be Davison Sanchez. This may seem like a little bit of a bizarre one. There are reports coming out of Colombia, Sanchez's home country, that for around 35 million euros, Spurs would be willing to accept a little bit of a loss on the money they paid for him from Ajax and sell him to Sevilla. And this kind of goes hand in hand with what both clubs want. Like I mentioned before, Kounde has been linked with a hell of a lot of clubs and definitely has a very high ceiling when it comes to being one of the best defenders in Europe. If Sevilla get rid of him, they're going to need a replacement. In my opinion, Davinson Sanchez is a decent player and has had a really good resurgent run of form recently and would fit in very well in La Liga. As for Jose Mourinho and Tottenham, Sanchez will give him a little bit of money to go ahead and plan this defensive rebuild, which is so desperately needed at the club as well. It's a win-win for both clubs, for the players, and it looks like it actually might be a rather good deal. Kounde going to Spurs, though, I don't think that one's going to happen. He's probably going to go to a club a little bit bigger than that. Next up then, a quick round up for the rest of the day's transfer news that you might have missed, and final midfielder Orkun Kutcu is apparently interesting the likes of Arsenal, Sevilla, and Leicester. Elsewhere, and from France winger Franck Ribéry wants to return to the Bundesliga once his contract with Fiorentina expires in the summer. Former Boca legend and current club president Joan Roman Riquelme is still talking to Edinson Cavani about joining the club, and after rejecting a move to Liverpool with some fine form at Inter Milan, Andrea Bastoni is looking to sign a new deal at Inter Milan, the 21-year-old hoping, and I think getting, a massive wage rise on his current €25,000 per week deal. So finally then, we come to this week's Friday Feels. This is where you guys leave your footballing predictions in the comment section down below, and we read out a few of the correct ones on Monday. Big weekend of football as always. First up, there was an old firm derby and Rangers have won the title. Does this mean that Celtic have to give them a guard of honour, like they have to clap them onto the pitch? The disrespect. Anyway, it's going to be a feisty game. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Next up, and in France, another massive derby as Lyon play host to PSG, and I think Mauricio Pochettino's men are just going to sneak out 3-2 winners. And lastly but not least, to round off this derby weekend in Wales, it's Swansea against Cardiff in the Championship. I'm not quite sure on the score, but 2 red cards throughout the 90-minute match. So there you have it. You guys let me know your Friday feels down below. Check out everything else we've got going on OneFootball. And until next time, I will see you guys later.